Today, we talk more about Gnosticism and its hermeneutic on this episode of Ancient Egypt and the Bible. In the last episode, we talked about the 8 distinctives of Gnosticism. Today, we are going to expand on the Gnostic allegorical method. Gnosticism owes much of its success to this method of interpretation. Now let's take, for example, the poem Mary Had a Little Lamb by Sarah Josepha Hale. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. He followed her to school one day. That was against the rule. It made the children laugh and play to see a lamb at school. Now, you might think this famous poem is about a little girl whose pet lamb followed hers to school. Oh, silly bunny, you'd be wrong. If you were inducted into the deep mysteries of Gnosticism, you would see that Mary is actually a teacher of Gnosis, and the lamb her student. And the fleece is the garments of bad thinking that are washed clean, white, because the student comes to understand the deep Gnostic mysteries. At one point, the student becomes so attracted to Gnostic teachings that he dares to enter into the school, the temple of learning for the initiative, to become one of the elite of Gnosticism. And even though it was against the rules and cultural norms, those inducted into Gnosis realize that the true Gnostic is above the rules and laws of the material world. And the other Gnostics, the children who laugh and play, rejoice at the initiation of a new elite member. Now, just in case there's any mistake, that's not really what the poem's about. Okay? But what I've just done here is read Mary Had a Little Lamb using Gnostic allegory as a method of interpretation. This method of interpretation explains how Gnosticism could adapt so easily to any religious context. Gnosticism could take any written text and flip the meaning of it on its head as an allegory. This also explains one of the problems of Gnostic scholarship. In 1945, the largest repository of Gnostic writings was discovered, the Nag Hammadi Library. The 52 texts in this library date to as early as the 2nd century AD. And what has all these texts told us about early Gnostic beliefs? Very little, if we're being honest. Nag Hammadi told us the scope of their literature, but not how they read their literature. For example, the Pauline epistles and the early church fathers tell us not only what early Christians believe, but how they read and interpreted their sacred texts. Nag Hammadi lacks the epistle genre, and the Gnostics did not write down what they believed in explicit doctrinal language. As a complete library, Nag Hammadi told us just enough to let us know that the preferred method of information transmission was through oral allegory. This also just makes plain sense. Secret knowledge is supposed to be just that, a secret. You don't write secrets down because people can copy them and spread them around. Now, I want to stress that not all religious groups that use allegory are Gnostic. However, the abuse of this interpretive method allowed Gnosticism to adapt the symbols and writings of practically any religious faith by redefining them so that they become compatible with the Gnostics' own teachings. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time on Ancient Egypt and the Bible.